message I give most young athletes is almost what I tell my son is, right now you haven't made it yet, that you got to continue to sacrifice. If you're going to make that next level from college to the pros, that means you got to start over. And even though you're one of the top running backs or the top player in college football, but when you step to that pro level, you're not the top anymore. So you almost got to start over, and that's what I did. And that's the way life is. But I think that's what's going to make you better by starting over.
Herschel, you're a Heisman Trophy winner, you played on the national championship team, played in the NFL. Just talk about humility because, of course, you're from a small town here in Georgia. Just talk about your humility, of course, getting to this point.
Well, I learned a long time ago. My mom is a minister. I learned a long time ago that you can't get anywhere by yourself. And in playing the game of football, it's so interesting because, and I made a statement early on out there. I said, if you look at when I played, people have been awarding me awards, and I won the Heisman Trophy and all those great things in a beautiful world like this here. But if you look at when I play, you don't see me get hit in the backfield that many times. So that means I had a very, very good offensive line. And a lot of my offensive linemen never got the recognition that they deserve, like the Nat Hudson, the Tim Morrison, and all those guys. But you have to give credit to them as well. Jonathan Taylor had a great year this year, but I think he'll say the same thing. He had an offensive line that blocked. And when you're a running back, all you have to do is run. And that's one thing I can do. And I tell people I can run. And that's what I did.
Who are some running backs you enjoy watching today in college football?
Well, you're going to be shocked about me. I never really watched football growing up. I never say, and I don't watch football today. I had a chance when Chubbs and Michelle was playing that I watched Georgia a little bit more. And, my nephew was at Clemson, so I watched Ian or E.T. play, and I watched them play. But I really don't watch football a lot. I'm still into the WWF. You ask me what wrestle I like, I can tell you that. And so I don't watch a lot of football. And it is strange because I was telling Joe Burrow earlier. I happened to be at the game this past Saturday. It was Saturday whenever Georgia played, and I said, and this is no lie, I think he's one of the best quarterbacks I've ever seen. And I haven't watched a lot of football, but just to watch him play, and I told him don't lose that attitude. I love that spunk he has because that's what you need because your teammates follow that. And I told him he is an incredible, incredible player.
Herschel, I know, like you said, you don't watch much football today, but Georgia is.
Well, I never have. A lot of people don't know I didn't grow up watching football. I learned football from reading books. I'm not and people always thought I watched football growing up, but I didn't. I had to work. I grew up in a small town. I worked, so I learned football from reading books and stuff. And today, now, and if you talk about great running backs, I'm gonna think of people that I know. Walter Payton. Walter Payton was absolutely incredible. Barry Sanders, incredible. Those are the guys that I watched play. Was guys like that.
Well, I was just going to ask because, of course, like you said, you learned football. Georgia's known as running back. You has had a ton of great running backs come through. Is there any favorite running back that you like, that you feel has been the best to come through Georgia?
The best to come through Georgia? Oh, well, Georgia has had a lot of great running backs to come through Georgia, And people, they named the running backs to come through Georgia, and I said, guys, y'all forget about Hampton. Hampton was incredible. You get about Willie McClinton. There's a lot of great running backs that has come through Georgia, and because there's been so many, people forget some of the names. And I think Georgia's going to continue to be the great university, the running back U, because, they got running backs there right now. Swift is incredible running back, but, people forget about the guys they got. And, Hurd had a good year this year. And, you look at Cooks playing, but people have forgot about Zamir White. Zamir White is going to be an excellent football player. I watched him a little bit, and you watch the acceleration he has when he hit the line, and you just said, you give him time. That kid is going to be absolutely incredible. And Georgia, the offensive line that they got that's coming back, they're going to be awesome. I'm not out here to recruit because I think there's a lot of good players out there. I watched the young man from Oregon win the award, and if I was right, they say he was a sophomore. And you go, wow, that's impressive of a sophomore to be up there winning an award like that is absolutely impressive.
Jonathan Taylor watched you quite a bit.
Yes.
I interviewed him much, and he says nothing but great things. I know you handed him the trophy last year. The fact that he ran for 6,000 yards in 3 years, what
That is totally impressive. That is totally impressive because, when you run, it's fun. I used to tell the people the ball not heavy. I can carry the ball. You give me 40 times, I'm going to carry it 40 times. You don't really realize it. And for him to go out and run for 6,000 yards is a lot. And the guy is still doing his thing. And people saying he was breaking my records. And I said, records are made to be broken. One thing that I think people must realize is that you can set the mark, but you got to realize it's going to be gone soon because when a kid see it, he can achieve it. Anyone can achieve as long as they know it's there. And to see what he's done this year, and I tell you, it's been impressive. And it is tough. And to see him do that was absolutely incredible.
Herschel, can you give your best Buck Belue story?
My best
Buck Belue.
Buck Belue story. Buck was interesting because, when I first got to Georgia, Buck is a pretty boy. All quarterbacks are pretty. And Buck was a leader. That's one thing about him is, you have quarterbacks that are just athletes and some that are leaders. And the ones that are leaders are the ones that's always going to win championships. And that's why I said Buck was a leader. And a lot of people don't know, Buck was a baseball player as well. Buck wasn't just a quarterback, but he was a baseball player. And he left baseball. I think he was in the AAA. And he was getting ready to get moved up, and he decided to go play football again. And I tell you, Buck is still a pretty boy. He got a beautiful wife. I think his wife is what made him look good. It ain't Buck. I think his wife is the one that does that.